Hey guys, what's up? How y'all doing? I'm here to talk to you guys about the new episode of ReZero Starting Life in Another World on Season 3 on Episode 7 or Episode 57 of the total number of episodes. This episode right here was actually really cool or very awesome depending on your point of view. Because I think it's because of that one scene that made the highlight of the episode, or maybe it's just the entire episode in general. So if anything else, let's just get this started right away. We have to it that Al will later pick up something from the witch's cult that he manages to possibly defeat or slaughter because he's the only one left standing, and ends up getting a call with Emilia. We have to it Emilia delivers a message to Al and asks him to deliver a message to Subaru about the situation and where the other witches are at. This, of course, Al was actually surprised about this, but also warns Emilia to not bottle it up or don't try to act tough and try to be careful. Although Emilia's like, well, I'll do what I can, but other than that, thank you for your advice. And then later, we have to it that Subaru will later on reunite with Garfield in this episode, where Garfield was very happy. He freaking hugs him in total like freaking like relief and satisfaction, saying, oh my gosh, thank goodness you're okay. And then Al will later on also show up. Well, I think Al might have showed up before Garf, but I don't know. But we have to it, Garf ends up having to tell Subaru about the situation where he was really worried about everybody. And as for Al, he delivers the message to Subaru, and we have to it that they have to solve the situation with the people or the citizens in Water City. They need to find a way how to ease or let the people have hope or get rid of the possible despair or sadness or gloomy atmosphere that's corrupting them. Because one, Sirius, the Archbishop of Wrath, if I remember correctly, is the reason why a lot of people are very much uneasy. Very much uneasy. Of course, Subaru tries to convince Anastasia, Julius, or so to possibly maybe give hope to these people. However, there's one problem. We have those two says, well, we're not really up to the challenge, or we won't be able to meet those possible words, but we can't. And overall, without a lot of detail and not dragging it out for a long time, they said, I'm sorry, but we can't do it. We're not up to the task of what you're trying to ask of us. And we see that Subaru was suggesting to bring Priscilla or Liliana with him, so maybe they could do something like what happened with like Liliana having to sing to the people. However, that may not help out much, considering that it only works for a certain amount of people, I believe. But we have to it that Garf gives the idea and says, hey, how about you give the speech and help out? You know? Because you're the one, I think you're the only one who can do it after all. I mean, aren't you the guy who defeated Archbishop? Not to mention, we get to see Julius does convince Subaru to do it, especially that time when he made that big speech and then dissing out Julius and the other knights whatsoever. But whatever the case is right now, Subaru was kind of nervous about the task, considering that he doesn't know what he can do. But Al decides to, like, what's the word? Give some advice to Subaru, like, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. But you just you don't have to do it if you have some doubts. I mean, like, standing here is really great and all, but we have to it that, Garf gotten very upset to see Al really dissing Subaru. But Al tells Garf, like, hey, man, if the guy could actually, like, make the speech and makes everything work out, he's great. But the majority of but not all of ordinary folks can handle that kind of burden. You must understand that. Not everybody is the same, could give hope like that. So we have to it after talking with Al and figuring out what to do next, we see that Subaru decides to give his best for the speech. And this speech that Subaru is giving off is just true 100% honesty. he pretty much says, hey man, I know I'm scared, and I'm pretty sure all you guys are in very much big despair too, and the demands they have is very real. And honestly, I'm a nobody, really, just a big nobody, but I'm not in a big position to really call you out like this, and possibly there's someone much better suited to talk to you, and I'm sure of it. And when he continues to be honest with himself, saying that I don't got charisma, I don't got a lot of power, but all I could really tell you right now, look at the people around you. I know it's very gloomy, but all I could really tell you this is right now is fight. I know it's devastating and it's very sad right now, but I can't run away from this. When you're alone, you're filled with saddening thoughts, and everyone's miserable. So all I can really tell you right now is that these guys who made the attack and who's causing a lot of damage right now, we're gonna take care of it. And I know it's very hard to believe. Am I the only one that could give you hope or not? I don't know. One thing's for certain, all I can really tell you is that Subaru's speech, his voice to give hope to people after Anastasia, Julius, and giving Al's advice and Garfield's motivation to tell him you should give it a try. We have to it that Subaru's speech gives hope without him knowing, or without him telling, or without anyone telling him. It's actually giving him motivation. Even Priscilla and Liliana, along with Felt, are actually listening to all this. Sure, after his given 100% honesty and knowing that we're not going to give up, we're not giving in, we'll fight, keep fighting, don't quit. That's all I could really do. And of course, that was a really awesome scene. All I can really tell you is that Subaru's speech overall, without a lot of detail, and I know I'm pretty much rambling on, gave hope to the people of the Water City. Although it did take some convincing with Subaru's honesty, and he even convinces himself that he's a nobody, but he's the guy that took down a sloth bishop of the witches cult. And with my friends and I, we will make this right, and we'll correct this. So overall, I gotta say, all I can really tell you with big honesty that the speech that Subaru gave was very emotional and motivating. You know, all I can really tell you is that you're gonna meet a lot of downs, but all you can really do is stand up and fight. If I were to put it in simple words like that, eventually we have to it. Hope will also arise further with Otto showing up with Reinhardt. Yes, Reinhardt. We are talking about the freaking one of the strongest characters or strongest guy right now that could easily manhandle the witches cult like no problem. Like after Felt tells him, go out there and fix the problem. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So I look forward to seeing him in action. I'm pretty sure a lot of people do. We saw him in action in season 1, and then we did see him a little bit when it came to season 2, when it came to one of the what-if endings or situations when Subaru was killed by Puck himself. You get the idea. And and of course we saw him in action in this episode too, which shows that when he goes into action, the witches cult better start running, because they ain't gonna play around either. So until then, people, I'll see you guys in the next video. So I'm Alpha Zero. Have a good day. I'll see you guys next time. All right. Peace out. Bye bye. Toot toot.